That is my Heidts independent rear suspension system. I decided that for my Nova build, I didn't want to do the same thing that everybody else does, a solid axle car. I wanted this thing to drive and to feel, like a new sports car that has independent rear suspension system. So I bought this universal independent rear suspension system from the folks at Heidts, and I wanted to make a little video for you guys and just show it to you. Tell you what I liked about it, what I didn't like about it, and hopefully share some of my epiphanies, as well as in the end of this video, I'm going to mount one of my GoPros here up in the wheel tubs and just show you the independent rear suspension system doing its job and working, so you guys can see how effective it is. So anyways, just wanted to make a little review video of my IRS. Let's check it out. Before we get to the nitty-gritty, I'll put a link down below to that rear suspension system down below in the description. I'll tell you that I opted for the high horsepower version. This one is rated to 800 horsepower. That's important because the blown LS in my car makes 606 rear wheel horsepower. So that's the high horsepower version. I also want to point out this is their universal system. This is not the kit for a 67 Nova, which is what I've got right here. They have a specific kit for a 67 Nova, but it's made, to mate up to the stock frame rails in one of these cars. My car has a completely custom frame that I have built from scratch. So the IRS that you see right there is their universal system. All right, let's start by talking about what I like. I absolutely love that this car has inboard brakes. So everybody else's car, of course, has the brakes mounted right there inside the wheel. Not my car. You actually have to look deep up inside the wheel to see the brakes. This thing has inboard brakes. I'm told by the folks at Willwood that those things actually work better than brakes out mounted in the wheel. I don't know how true that is, but that's what they said. And I just absolutely love a set of inboard brakes. One thing I want to let you know is if you buy one of these systems from Heidts, it comes with the brakes. You need to be very, very careful about letting the folks at Heidts just send you the brakes that come with it. And you want to actually consider, how big is my master cylinder? How big are my calipers in the front? Talk to the folks at Willwood or Bear or whatever and figure out what size calipers you actually need in the rear of your car. It took me months to figure out how come I couldn't get the brakes working right in my car. I'll put this video right here down below as a link in the description. That's a video that talks about how I learned the hard way that the brakes that I got sent with my IRS ultimately didn't work right for my car because everything wasn't sized appropriately. So before you just run off and buy an IRS from anyone for that matter and just take the standard brakes that come with it, consider that that stuff needs to be, sized accordingly, and talk to the brake manufacturer. Figure that out before you just go off buying. It'll save you a ton of time and money, which is unfortunately what I did wrong. Okay, more of what I like. Obviously, you get a ride from an independent rear suspension system that you're just simply not going to get from a solid axle car. So the ride that is produced out of this thing is a very, very modern ride. When you run over a bump on the right side tire, it doesn't affect the left side tire. And obviously there's a lot to be said for that. So that's the big thing that I really like about this, is it just rides very, very good. One of the other things that I really like about an independent rear suspension system is frankly just being different from everybody else. When you go to cruising the coast, you're going to see 10,000 cars and, probably 50 have got an independent rear suspension system. I like to be different, especially when being different is better. So that's another reason I went with the IRS. The folks at Heidts told me that they actually manufacture their own shocks at Heidts, and I've found, I'm pretty impressed with their shocks. There's your adjusting ring right there, so you can adjust the ride height on this thing. There's a little knob right there on the back side that you can use to adjust the ride, and I've been pretty impressed with them. I've not had any issues out of the shocks at all. I find no reason to upgrade them. I'm pretty happy with them. Another pro to this independent rear suspension system is the adjustability. There are Heim joints everywhere. See that right there? A little adjustable link, with a nut that's used to clamp it in place. So you've got one there, you've got one there. They're all over this thing. There's an adjustable Heim joint there. You can see one right up in there. Even the arms right here are adjustable that tie the suspension system, to the front of the car. Everything just has tons of adjustability, and I really appreciate that. These systems come in several different widths. So you have your track width, which is like, your hub spacing from side to side, one side to the other. How wide do you want your tires to be? And then you also have the spacing of the mount. Do you see right up in there? Yeah, you can see it, the mount where everything mounts to the frame rails. Those can be bought in different spacings as well. Consider that when you are specifying, the width of this thing, and you're specifying the width of the frame rail, that the further it's moved in, the wider the tire or the narrower tire that you can get on this thing. So that's something to consider. Don't just run off and pick a number, because that width right there of the mount that you see will ultimately determine how wide your tire is or isn't. Here's a little bit better shot of the mount that you can see right there. There we are. You can see it right up in there. The center section of this thing is a 9-inch Ford rear end, and that is a Posi-Track unit. So great big bulky unit that's really been proven over time to be very strong and reliable. I want to share something with you. So that is the housing right there. There we go, for the third member. That thing's actually aluminum. And one of the things that I really like about that is, of course, with it being aluminum, if the powder coating were to ever get, chipped or whatever, it's not going to rust. You might think that housing is light because it's aluminum, and you'd be terribly wrong. Even if you remove the third member from that thing, that housing feels like it probably weighs 100 pounds. It is incredibly heavy. And you might ask, well, why did I powder coat it if it's aluminum? Aluminum is not going to rust anyway. And the answer is that casting right there, when you get it, it's a casting. It's very porous. And so, as soon as you get any oil or grease on it whatsoever, it sticks out like a sore thumb, and you can't just wipe it off because, it has a surface that feels like 80 grit sandpaper. So I ultimately decided to powder coat that mine. It gave it a much smoother finish. And now, when I get a little bit of grease on there, I can just wipe it right off. Now, one of the things that I'll share with you is that I used the third member as kind of like a casing, if you will. Or no, I used that housing as like a casing to paint my third member. So if you look at these photos, you can see that I'm painting the third member, and I'm not getting, paint on anything because I'm using the housing to protect it. And once I painted my third member, I actually used my CNC plasma cutter from the folks over at Langmeyer Systems. That plasma cutter right there, it's a super handy little thing. And I made these plates that you see that allowed me to block off all of these great big holes on the casing. So at the end of the day, I could media blast that aluminum casing. I was able to do everything without getting any paint or any blasting media inside of the housing, because I blocked it off with those plates you see right there on the welding table. That was a really neat little way to do it, that I solved that problem. And at the end of the day, I got a nice painted third member and a powder coated housing. Okay, let's now talk about the things that I didn't really care for. First up on the list, you've got this plate right here that kind of ties this piece to this piece. And originally, when I received this kit, these pieces were not welded together. That brace that you see right there and that brace that you see right there was not part of the kit. I welded those in myself. And I did that because when I assembled everything, I just felt like there was just too much play in these great big bolts right here that are ultimately attached to your control arms. And so I think I improved the kit a little bit by welding in a 1/4-inch piece of steel there and there. Next up, there's several components on this kit that you're going to have to plate that, to be honest with you, I don't feel like you should have to plate. For instance, have a look at this joint that you see right there. It's rusting quite nicely. I'm going to have to media blast that thing and take it someplace and get it plated. I really wish that had been made out of stainless. It probably would have increased the cost of the kit a little bit, and I understand that, but there's just some pieces that I don't think should be in steel that would rust, and that's one of them. Some of your hardware, that goes as well. Like, this is a very specific bolt right here with a shoulder inside that you can't see. So you can't necessarily just replace that with a nice new zinc plated bolt. And you can see that it's rusting up inside of there. So some of the hardware on this thing, I'm going to have to take and get plated. I also had to do a little bit of painting on some of the stuff. Like, for instance, these hubs right here, I was told expect that those would rust. So I had to paint those. Not really the end of the world. It's not anybody's fault or anything, but just expect that you're going to run into that. One thing that I'll share with you, do you see right there how the bolt sticks out for the shock tower mount right there? It didn't originally do that. Originally, the bolt wasn't long enough, but it wasn't a matter that the bolt wasn't long enough. The mount that you see right up in here was actually too long. And when I went to Heidts and I said, hey guys, what's going on here? The bolt doesn't stick out enough for me to be able to get the shock on there and actually mount it. Their response to that was the mount, is actually too long. The steel part right here was too long, and they told me to lop it off with a saw in order to be able to mount the shock. And that was the answer. I'd like to tell you that was the only case like this, but it's not. I'll show you something else here. Do you see the arm right there for the caliper? It's touching the housing. If you just adjust it a little more, it'll really start digging into the housing. So, yeah, the brake doesn't really fit the housing that is sold with this kit very well. And I'd like to tell you that's the end of it, but it gets worse. If we come over here and we have a look, can you see the area right there, where some material has been removed from the housing? Do you see that? Well, this arm, this arm right here that operates the parking brake, I had to remove the material out of the housing right there. You can see what I'm talking about now. I had to remove that area out of the housing because the arm would not actually operate. It would hit the housing. And this is the brake kit that is sold with the housing that is sold with the IRS kit. So this stuff doesn't necessarily fit as well as it should, and you do have to modify things to make it work. I should probably mention that the instructions for this unit are okay, but they're not amazing. For instance, this entire mount assembly right here is two pieces. You have this piece and then this piece. Those are not shown in the instructions at all. You have to figure out how they go together and where you're going to put them and whatnot. And to be honest, I mean, if you're doing work like this, if you can't figure that out, you probably don't have business doing work like this. But, it would have been nice if those were in the instructions, but they were definitely not. Heidts has some excellent welding going on here. Really nice looking welds. Being a welder myself, I really appreciate, when somebody really knows what they're doing with a welder. And whoever they've got doing their welding at Heidts, he knows what he's doing. I do appreciate that all of the hardware with this unit came with nylon locking lock nuts, and everything was nicely organized in like a shrink wrap, packaging material from day one. One thing I just noticed that is not good. Do you see that little bit right there of material that's been removed? I can feel that with my thumb. It's substantial. I mean, there's a gouge in the metal. I'm pretty sure that's from these bolts right here rotating around as the suspension goes into the compression, upward. Those appear to be hitting the control arm, and I got the same thing on the other side. Yeah, it's not awesome. In all fairness, you can see that this little arm has got a bend in it right here, that this bend is way closer to this end than to this end. And I was just having a look at the instructions from Heidts, and you can see, there it is, right there. It's not like blatantly obvious to tell if I've put it in right or wrong. I think I've put it in wrong, so that could very well be my fault. I'm going to go ahead and swap one of those arms around and, just put a piece of tape on one of those spots and see if it removes the tape on one side and not on the other. So maybe I screwed that up. I'm going to flop that around. We'll see what we got. Well, the system is not perfect, but I certainly don't consider it bad. The next thing that I'm going to do is take my little GoPro here, mount it up in the wheel tub, and head out and do a little bit of slaloming with the car and see if I can't show you the independent rear suspension system in action and let you see how it works. And then in the end of the video, I'll kind of give my thoughts on everything. All right, so that's the road test on the Heidts independent rear suspension system. I do want to say that this arm that you see right here in the manual, we talked about that earlier, how it was hitting the bolts, you know, on the axle. Turns out I flipped that arm around in the opposite direction, and that did away with the problem of those rotating bolts hitting that little arm. So turns out I had the thing installed incorrectly. You know, granted, it's kind of difficult to tell in the manual how it's really supposed to go, but at the end of the day, it was my fault. I had it in backwards. Want to take a second and say thanks to the two Mikes that are in technical support over at Heidts. I have had just an absolutely enormous number of questions for those guys, literally over years of building this car, and they have always been happy and helpful and professional to answer all of my questions. So thank you to both of those guys over at Heidts. In conclusion, the two big questions people are going to ask me about my Heidts independent rear suspension system. First one being, would I recommend it? And the answer to the question is yes, I would recommend it, but I would just add a little caveat in there to understand that it's not really a highly refined system. There are going to be little things that have to be tweaked, like we talked about earlier. Everything from Heidts is not necessarily going to be, you know, maybe as perfect as you're hoping for. So just be aware of that. Overall, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Second important question, how does it ride? Overall, I'm very happy with the ride of it. Everything out of the back end of the car in terms of the feel of it is a very stiff, sporty, you know, kind of feel to it. It's a lot like what I feel when I'm driving my 2016 Z06 Corvette. Stiff, independent rear suspension. Everything works quite well. It absorbs the bumps well, but it is a firm ride. So overall, I'm pretty happy with the ride, yeah. If you got questions about that Heidts IRS, by all means, ask them below in the comments. I am happy to answer questions in the comments and do all the time. If you enjoyed this content, by all means, click subscribe down below. I appreciate new subscribers very, very much. I hope you guys learned something about this IRS system. Hope that was a helpful video. Appreciate you guys watching, and y'all take care.